Уважаемые гости, которые сегодня пришли на эту пресс-конференцию, здравствуйте. У нас сегодня не менее важное событие и мероприятие, чем то, которое сейчас проходит в России. Это FIFA. Сегодня я считаю, что в России FIFA у нас по криптовалюте. И вот сегодня у нас замечательный гость Иэн Балина, который широко известен в узком круге криптовалюты, входит в топ лучших профессионалов в этой теме. Сегодня мы нашу беседу и разговор построим на русском и английском языке, так как мы в России находимся. Если кому-то требуется перевод, прошу взять микрофончики, на столе лежат, если нужен будет с английского на русский или с русского на английский. Всех, конечно, прошу быть открытыми к вопросам. И начну свой вопрос первым я к Яну и спрошу его «Why Russia?» Почему Россия, почему он сегодня здесь и что его заинтересовало в нашей стране? Что у нас с переводом у нас что происходит? Да, прошу включить, кому нужны, у кого есть микрофоны, включить на позицию «on».
Need to translate. All right. Hello, do you hear me? So I picked Russia, Moscow, mainly because we're coming here for the World Cup. We had tickets, plus Moscow is a very big cryptocurrency blockchain scene and community. So it made sense for me to come here and just really get a chance to meet the community here in blockchain and cryptocurrency, and to meet all the other investors, the founders, and the people really taking this space to the next level, where it is 5 years from now.
Это только относится к криптовалюте или к ICO в целом, или каким-то иным вашим проектам, или вашем участии в России?
When I say that Moscow and Russia is huge in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space, I mean in terms of the amount of blockchain developers in this region, the amount of blockchain projects they're putting out there. So compared to the rest of the world, Moscow and Russia in general is up there in the sense of there are really lots of different projects coming out of this space.
У вас уже здесь есть какие-то проекты, или вы намечаете что-то здесь сделать, или какие-то люди, с которыми вы готовы уже работать, или сейчас у вас такая первая встреча, знакомство с Россией и дальнейшее уже участие здесь как инвестора и как человека, который будет знаком уже всем людям, которые занимаются с криптовалютой, не только как человек из Америки, но и как человек, который в России что-то уже делает.
So right now I don't have any projects in particular in Russia that I've worked with or invested in, but I did have the chance of meeting CryptoBazar when I went to South Korea, in Seoul, South Korea. I met them there at the ICON conference, and when I was coming here, I had some contacts at CryptoBazar here, so it made sense to really partner with them, for them to really introduce me to this scene in terms of Russia and Moscow cryptocurrency projects. Me mainly, I'm an ICO investor, so I'm looking forward to discovering the next ICOs coming out of Moscow, Russia, and see if there is anything I'm willing to invest in.
Я думаю, что все, кто сегодня здесь присутствует, интересуются самым главным вопросом о том, какая же главная тайна инвестора и человека, который занимается криптовалютой, чем нужно обладать и какими качествами нужно обладать, чтобы правильно вложить и правильно получить те деньги и те вложенные коины, которые хочет человек получить.
So I feel ICO investor has to have the qualities of being very diligent, being able to do research diligently, consistently, but also having a system in place to analyze different ICOs and going away from using the gut feeling, using their emotions, and using something that's more systematic, more codified. So with me, the method I use is called token metrics, where we get data and analytics and apply it to ICOs by comparing the best ICOs of all time based on their return on investment for the investor and trying to find patterns in the data. What made them a great ICO investment? Then taking those patterns and creating a grading system and applying that towards new upcoming ICOs to see how well they fare.
Окей. Вы работали долгое время в компании IBM и получили там колоссальный опыт. Вообще, что для вас IBM, что для вас дало оно как место, где вы получили первый опыт или новый опыт, и чем оно было полезно именно с точки зрения криптовалюты и вашего дальнейшего опыта в этом деле?
Yes, so I worked for us in IBM. My first 3 years, I was working as an IBM Watson Analytics sales engineer, working with data and analytics. My last year, I was working as an open source sales executive, covering all of North America for IBM Watson, IBM Hybrid Cloud, and IBM Data and Analytics. So it really gave me the experience of working with data and analytics, but also working in the enterprise world with businesses and seeing what really makes them run. Being able to be inside a world-class organization that's in the Fortune 20 and seeing what exactly makes it run in place also kind of gives me a nice perspective to evaluate new upcoming projects that want to eventually be as big as IBM and see what exactly they'll have to do to get there, just being somebody who's been inside the machine.
В таком случае вы не скучаете по IBM и не хотите ли назад вернуться?
I loved my experience at IBM. It was great 4 years. They definitely gave me the initial start and really showed me and helped me grow as both an entrepreneur, as an employee, as a person, as a human being. That it's always better being independent and basically just kind of having your own business.
Окей. Как вы оцениваете в целом дальнейшее развитие рынка криптовалюты в связи с последними событиями и отношением к биткоинам со стороны различных правительств и государств, которые считают, что криптовалюта на сегодняшний день не имеет какой-то ценности? И вот в этой связи для вас это является каким-то стопом или наоборот стимул для развития, что можно идти параллельно каким-то ограничением государств и развивать инвестиции, в том числе в электронной сфере?
So I think the blockchain and cryptocurrency investing space is here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere. I feel the only issue really slowing it down is regulation, and eventually regulation is trying to slow it down, but they cannot stop this. This is a rocket ship going to the moon, and it's already in orbit. So it's going to be very hard to bring that rocket ship back. It's already left the space station. So I feel now laws, countries, governments, different organizations are just trying to adapt around it. And I think the regulation being announced recently, for example, in America, with the Security Exchange Commission announcing that Ethereum is not a security. That was very, very big news. That was basically a stamp of approval that made people even more confident in this space. Because now they've said Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. And those are the two biggest cryptocurrencies out there. And this really kind of gives it a foundation to really build upon and stay here for the long term. So this is a space, me personally, I'm all in. I'm heavily betting on this space being that the next biggest thing since the internet itself. And I think all this is going to play out perfectly.
В этой связи тогда вопрос: считаете ли вы, что дальнейшие инвестиции профессиональные перейдут постепенно из области реальной жизни в область интернета, электронной системы и криптовалюты? Или будет по-прежнему долгое время разделение на инвестиции реальные и криптовалютные до определенного периода времени?
No, so I think they already are really coming to this space. You have lots of VCs, almost all the top VCs now in Silicon Valley are migrating to blockchain. Like Sequoia Capital, Kleiner Perkins, they're now starting to invest in ICOs early on. Although not the best ICOs all the time, but they've now started to invest. Then you have Wall Street, for example, you have Goldman Sachs opening up trading desks to start trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So this space is really getting there. And now also with the announcement of Ethereum not being a security, I believe that now this really paves the way for things like ETFs on cryptocurrencies to now really start being created. And you have Coinbase as well, which is one of the biggest exchanges in America. They also announced they'll be launching an index fund, allowing people to start really investing in the entire market of cryptocurrencies. Yeah. So I think all of these different big players are starting to join this space, from Wall Street, from Silicon Valley, and all other kinds of investors around the world. So smart money is starting to get involved in this space.
Okay, thank you. Я думаю, что много вопросов у сегодняшних наших гостей, у СМИ, поэтому я дам, наверное, им слово, а те вопросы, которые у меня еще остались, я оставлю на потом, если у нас хватит времени. Итак, прошу, да, у нас как будут микрофоны передавать или давайте.
First of all, Ian, it's great that you are here. Thanks for being with us. Is it okay if I'll ask in English or?
Ask in English.
Okay. Ian, welcome again to be here. First, very simple question. Who will be the champion of this year?
Oh, wow. I think I'm going to have to go with...
Can I ask 3 questions? 2 of them are like very simple, and the third one is important for me. So I'm a fan of your approach of data-driven analysis of tokenomics. How you estimate that this approach changed after 2017, the year of FOMO, as you told, and this year? It's second one. And third one, what do you think about implementing blockchain into real segments like real estate? Thank you.
Okay, so first question, I think it's going to be Brazil. I'm going to have to go with Brazil. They usually win every year or every other World Cup, it seems like. So I'm going to have to go with Team Neymar. Regarding real estate, I'm not very bullish on real estate when it comes to blockchain from an investment perspective. I've done 2 real estate ICOs, Propi and Real, and they've been one of the worst investments from an ROI perspective. So now going forward, any real estate project I see, I just automatically pass on it. I don't think that's a space that's ready for a positive ROI, because right now, real estate projects for the most part are still dApps. And this space is really still in the infrastructure phase. So it makes no sense to really try to invest in dApps, especially dApps that are raising a ton of money. Anything over 13 million for me is probably something I'll just automatically pass on. Because right now we're basically building the infrastructure, so the plumbing, the wires, the copper wires. So it's like trying to invest in Netflix back in 1990, right, when we don't have fast internet yet. It makes no sense at all, right? So right now I feel like we're trying to get the fast internet, which is a faster blockchain. So I feel we have to really first solve those use cases and those issues and problems before we can start doing all kinds of other dApps. What was the other question you had?
The other one was how changed your approach to data-driven analysis since 2017 to
2017, as I mentioned, was the year of FOMO. Lots of people discovered IC investing as a great way to make money. I feel now what has changed, it takes longer to get the ROIs. So no longer do you get the 100Xs in 1 month, 1 or 2 months. I feel like now it may take 1 year to get a 100X return on investment, because the space now has become very, very saturated as more investors from Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and elsewhere in the world, like Asia and Europe and here, start to get in, and more money gets in. Now we basically have a problem where private sales are getting sold out very, very quickly. And now you have to really, really be early to invest in something. And the evolution is that you have to really find a different edge, something that sets you apart from what everybody is doing. For me personally, and our team personally, that edge now is traveling the world. That's why we're here in Moscow, because we're willing to do what nobody else is willing to do. So if nobody's willing to come to different parts around the world to discover the next big project, that gives us a chance to be really early to invest in something. Because by the time it's gone mainstream or reached all corners of the world, it's too late, right? Because by the time a project has been mentioned by lots of other ICO analysts now, right, it's too late to get in. Typically, the pre-sale or private sale is sold out. So now our strategy is to really be one of the first investors in a project. So that's why we're willing to travel around the world. We're going from continent to continent to do that.
Thank you very much for your questions, actually. I'm originally from Israel here, and I haven't seen Tel Aviv in your World Tower.
Yes, we're going to Tel Aviv too.
So I invite you to Tel Aviv and
thank you.
set up some good meeting there. Thank you very much.
Okay, hello Ian. My name is Leo, and I want to ask you, what do you think about the cryptocurrency world? Is it a world and place for the creative things like CryptoKitties or like Pepe Frog or Dogecoin?
Sorry, what's the question again? Let me take this off.
I mean, what do you think about ecosystem of cryptocurrency? Is it new age of art, of media, of creative stuff like Pepe Frog, like Dogecoin, like CryptoKitties?
The meme coins, what do I think about them?
Yeah, no. What do you think about creative stuff in crypto, like games, like music, media, and etc., or it is more for financial world?
Okay, I'm not sure I quite understand, but my question on meme coins. Me personally, I don't invest in meme coins, but I think it's definitely it has a utility, as funny as it may seem, right? From Pepe Cash to Dogecoin or whatever, they've all really kind of created a whole new niche. And ironically, they've been great investments if you got in early, because they kind of have that built-in viral marketing aspect of it, and something that people don't really take seriously. So they don't really raise much money or really get much hype initially, but as they start to really become part of the crypto culture and crypto lexicon, then that's when they really start to kind of take off, and that's when you kind of see their ridiculous growths. Because I think at one point in time, Pepe Cash and the Dogecoin had over 1,000% return, which was wild, right? But me, from a strategic point of view, I would not invest in those kind of projects. But from a trading perspective, I think I was talking to some traders. Dogecoin at some points in time has actually been very stable for being almost as a store of value to kind of avoid the bear market. But from my perspective, though, I don't touch meme coins. All right, thank you.
Good. Yeah, Jan, if you don't mind. Yes, I'm here. Yes, my name is Sergey. Yes, we're familiar with each other. In continue with our conversation about the depth, I want to ask you your question. Do you think is EOS, is the decentralized ecosystems going to blockchain number 3.0? What your interest in that? Are you looking for investing on the type of ICO projects or not? I'm talking about technical blockchainers, technical like new type of operation systems.
Yes, I mean, that's the space I'm most bullish on, is next generation blockchain. So if you kind of look at Ethereum as being blockchain 2.0, then blockchain 3.0 is basically high-speed blockchains or interoperability blockchains. So blockchains like Icon, I was an investor in Icon, I was an investor in OneChain, projects out there like Zilliqa, EOS, I was also an investor as well. I'm very bullish personally on EOS. I mean, when you raise $1 billion, it's kind of hard to fail, right? Everything's kind of lined up for you to do well. Plus, I think Dan Larimore has done well from already having prior success in the blockchain industry with Steemit and BitShares. So him really kind of taking that idea of graphene blockchains and extending it and building EOS. So the fact he's had prior success in this and they raised $1 billion makes me really, really bullish on that project in particular. And I think out of all the other projects out there, it's the most credible one that could possibly not, yeah, I would say possibly surpass Ethereum.
You know where I'm asking for, because also huge companies like Hewlett-Packard Enterprise also looking for that. I don't know, do you aware about Clear Foundation, which are also based in America? They company are also doing decentralized operating systems. That's what I'm asking for. Okay, good. In Russia, a lot of good programmers. I think you are looking for them. Good. Thanks a lot for your question.
Thank you.
Могу спрашивать?
Hi, nice to meet you here in Moscow. My question is as following. What are the most hot ICOs right now live at the moment? What do you think about it? And the second part of my question is, what do you think about Russian ICOs generally? Thank you.
Okay. First question is, what are the hot ICOs? Was that the question?
Yeah. Which ICOs are most interesting for you right now?
Right now, so today I had a call with an ICO called PDX. It's a blockchain based out in Asia, only raising $10 million. So has a great team with from Yahoo and some other great companies. So that's one I'm currently looking at. Another one I've looked into is Helium, also a infrastructure project, but I think the token sale should be starting in about a month or so, or at least they'll be announcing news in about a month or so. One other project on my radar is Harmony, also an infrastructure project. That's more down the line in Q4. That one is still very early, but all three of those are infrastructure projects that I'm right now very into. And then what was the other question?
Yeah, about
Russian ICOs. Me personally, I haven't invested in any Russian projects that I know of. I think the main thing that's kind of been an issue for me has been doing research on the teams, because the sites I typically research on for teams is usually typically American sites, right? So me all the way in America trying to research Russian ICOs has been tough, because the sites I typically use to do my homework are not available anymore, right? So I'd like to kind of discover how I can really do more research on the teams here. So I think by coming here, will basically give me a better edge, right? But that's kind of been the roadblock stopping me from investing in Russian ICOs. The one I kind of recall the most, or at least kind of getting the most awareness outside of Russia, was probably Credits, I believe, right? Because that was a blockchain. I think it ended up doing what, like 5x or more. That one I passed on as well because I couldn't really do research on the team at that point in time. But I mean, I think the talent is here. I just think the communicating that to people outside of Russia is kind of the next step, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to kind of figure out and see how I can kind of learn from that by being here in person. Okay, all right. Spasiba.
Ian, one small question. During this market going down, I noticed that some coins of biggest exchanges like Binance and Huobi, they're actually still going up. So what do you think about perspectives about investing in these coins which are owned by biggest exchanges?
Exchanges? So that's something I've kind of been noticing as well this year. Exchange tokens have been doing fairly well. Yeah. After what Binance did, going from nothing to being worth over $1 billion, and they've really executed well in a project in a company that's been around for basically just 1 year. So I've noticed other exchanges now starting to launch their own tokens with Huobi token, and I think even other projects like other exchanges like Upbit possibly maybe launching their own exchange, their own tokens. Yeah. So this is a model that's now kind of being proved that really creating a token for exchanges works. Me personally, I've never invested in an exchange token. Mm-hmm. It may change down the line, but from my research, I haven't really found one that kind of enticed me to participate.
Because in Bitcoin, their price just rockets, and in dollar, it goes up independently of market. So
yeah, I mean, so one thing to add to that, so I know with Binance, as Binance becomes a bigger and bigger exchange and it gets more successful, one of the listing requirements is you can pay the fee to get listed in Binance tokens.
Yes.
So when all these big projects, big ICOs come and they want to get listed, they have to buy up the Binance token to get listed.
And Binance also has this option when you can convert the small...
the nuke, you can kind of nuke your small tokens to Binance. Yeah, so I would say as long as the ICO space remains very bullish and ICOs need to get listed on Binance, Binance should basically still do well in a bear market for the most part.